So we're going today to just school at an indoor, me and my friend, and we're not doing anything extra amazing, but I'm still like giddy. Word of advice: get a hobby that you get that excited about over next to nothing. Okay, so a little bit about this schooling and what I'm trying to get out of it. The last time we were here at the place that we'll be schooling at today, I was in a clinic and I had been jumping like beginner novice height, 2.7, something like that. But I think what I didn't realize is perhaps there were just some holes in my training with Secret. And I think because what was happening was he was sort of taking over when we would jump a course of fences. He wouldn't really let me have a say in how we got to the fences or the pace or anything like that. And so it was during a clinic with Stephen Bradley, and Stephen pointed out we were trying to go for adjustability, and I had no control. Secret was just kind of like sticking his nose out and kind of, it's hard to describe, like he would stick his nose out and it's like he'd clench his jaw and then he'd like sort of harden all his muscles like all through his back. And it was like 1 minute I had communication with the horse and the next minute he was just like, now I can't hear you anymore, sorry, phone line's down. And he'd do kind of whatever he thought best, which, I mean, he is the horse, they are his legs. He is supposed to have some autonomy in controlling, what happens to get you out of a situation or to make a decision. Like, he's very quid pro quo. We do well when we like communicate with each other, but he was kind of just pushing me out. So Stephen pointed out that we needed to learn how to maintain a bend. So to kind of put it in layman's terms, when you're riding, it's good to always have your horse supple in the direction that you're going. So you want your horse to be straight, but you want them to be able to bend either direction, kind of like if you were if you're dancing, you want to be warm and you want to make sure that your body is flexible in all the ways it needs to be flexible in order to do the job that you're supposed to be doing. So it's kind of like that. So if a horse doesn't have the proper warm-up and isn't really flexible in all the ways they need to be flexible, it can set them up for injury, and it also kind of kills their confidence, or at least it did with Secret, because he is a very careful horse, I think is what I've discovered. He's not really super fearful, he's just careful. He wants to know what he needs to do. So when he would put the phone lines out when we were trying to jump courses of fences, he would start feeling like he had to make his own decisions, and it would kill his confidence. So then we had to go back, and my uncle had said something as well. When he watched a video of us jumping, he was like, he looks a little like stiff, not like he's lame or anything like that, just his body doesn't look it just doesn't look like he's hearing you when you're doing things. And that's what it felt like. It felt like he would just kind of go rock hard through his body and just be like, can't hear you anymore, I'm taking over. So we had to go back to walking poles and trotting just poles on the ground and just slowly building back up, keeping like a very keeping a different shape, but that's not really what it's about. Kind of keeping his core tight and keeping him listening to me, kind of keeping a flex at the pole, and just developing, really what it is, you're developing it like a communication. You're teaching your horse that no matter what they're doing, you stay in communication with them. And that helps everyone. Have a fun time today and play with some ponies.
Welcome to my warm-up.
I don't know why I like that voice. It's just fun for me. I hope it's fun for you. Maybe it's not. Sorry if not. But anyway, this is our warm-up. Did a ton of walking. Secret doesn't really prefer to be in the ring. He always prefers being out on a trail or out in a field or, what have you. So it always takes a little bit longer to get him all warmed up because he is very, very resistant. And as you can see, he's just not into it. He's like, I can't use my back end. Everything's disconnected. It's just stop. You should just give up. So I try to be very patient with him about that because I get it, man. Not everybody likes every part of their job and being in the ring. He likes to jump and he likes pole work. So he likes to be mentally invested, but if we're just warming up and trotting around a ring, there's a good chance that he's not super invested or interested. So I try to take it very gently from the beginning, just lots of transitions, a lot of stretching, a lot of bending, and just being very, very judicious about when I ask for different things. And that just comes from, spending a lot of time riding this horse. I think it's been about 4 years now. So Secret likes his long warm-up. He likes everything to feel yogic and pleasant. And this is me setting up some trot poles because I find footwork is something that Secret always is interested in. I think he looks at it like a math problem and he loves solving it. So this is me trying to get him motivated. I was trying to get him to trot. It didn't work. I think we got it this time though. Yeah. And he was like, easy peasy, mom, I'm bored. So then I hop on, I do it a couple times, and then I did this cool exercise that I saw on wehorse.com from Ingrid Klimke, where you do a lot of, you do your transitions, right? So I would trot the trot poles and then come down to my walk for the rest of the circle and then trot the trot poles again. And you're basically just practicing your transitions and just asking your horse to give you a little bit more effort when they go into that other transition. And then this, I think, is when I asked him for a real working trot. And yeah, as you can see, everything comes together and he's like, fine, I'm here. Now, unfortunately, I set up this 9-foot pole away from this vertical. And then I did another 9-foot away pole on the other side. I'm not describing that very well, but you see what I mean. Because I'll count out the steps in a second. And this is nice. It just gives me a chance to give him a little rest. And it helps me stay fresh on distances and what kind of distances that work best for him. And, it gives me a lot of information about how he's doing that day, etc., etc. Unfortunately, the pivot sucked and didn't catch me doing any of this. So I did a little bit of a Chase Me Charlie. And I think we got the poles, the very final pole up at the end is all the pivot caught. But I think it was like 211. And he was super pony. So that was, I think, 211. Like I think I said, we just kind of guessed because we weren't really sure. But that I find just gives him a lot of confidence. And he was a super pony. He likes to jump. I mean, he's totally invested once he's got something to do. And yeah, thanks for joining me on my vlog. I'm all showered and clean now. So I'm going to go stretch it out. Catch you later.